Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between LenaPark and Argos here on Blistering Sands. This shoutcast is sponsored by Raptor, the free gaming app that makes it easier to play with your friends and all of your buddies. And it goes ahead and it links up all of your AIM, Facebook chat, Crossfire inside StarCraft 2. It also lets you see when your friends are playing different games and try to call them over to StarCraft 2. I am now a part of Raptor, so you can go ahead and find me at Raptor. Go ahead and check it out for free at raptor.com. I will also include some links in my description so you guys can go ahead and check it out there. Right now we have Argos spawning on the bottom left hand side as the blue Zerg player. Meanwhile we have LenaPark spawning over here on the top right hand side as the yellow Protoss. So this is going to be Protoss versus Zerg once again here on Blistering Sands. And should be a fairly interesting matchup here. This is the first game that I've seen from the original Wings of Liberty game here. And now we have Argos Zenith and LenaPark both doing a very early scout. So very interesting to see Argos Zenith going for a scout even before getting up any sort of spawning pool or getting any sort of hatchery play. So very interesting strategy off of this. Really wants to make sure that there is no cheese coming in. LenaPark now running around on the inside of the base. Gonna go ahead and try to do some harassment with that probe, and we may have a hero Peppy here in just a moment as Peppy the probe gonna go ahead and recharge those shields and come back in. Back over here we see the drone now just moving around, trying to make sure that wants to really keep track if there is a cybernetics core. Daisy the drone also grabbing some minerals of her own. I know drones are normally male, but then again drones normally don't do anything, so it's usually the workers. So I'm thinking Daisy the drone, she's female for me because she's the worker insect. Anyways, back over here you see Argos Zenith now getting an extractor and also getting a spawning pool. Back over here as well, LenaPark doing a great job just denying this hatchery over here as LenaPark just running around on the inside and now finally pulling back out. There is one drone for some reason hiding off at this position right here, not quite sure why. She could be mining, and over here we can see another overlord. So just a lot of scouting coming out from Argos Zenith, and now finally that drone still being microed into that position. Not quite sure what it really wants to see. Perhaps it wants to try to go ahead and set down another hatchery, but really this other unit right there just continuing to move around, and Argos Zenith really wanting to hide that drone and perhaps try to sneak in a hatchery there, and still not working out. Back over here we now have double assimilators going down, so 2 assimilators going down, gathering as much gas, and now it is going to be a gateway into one cybernetics core over here as that drone finally going to be able to lay down that hatchery as this probe really wants to see what's on the inside of the space. Down it goes to some Zerglings, so Peppy the probe risking his mechanical life so that a poor drone couldn't grow up to be a hatchery. Finally going to be a little bit delayed, but we'll see how this affects Argos Zenith's playstyle all in all. Back over here, LenaPark also setting up a pylon in the back of his base. Only real reason to do this is to kind of hide perhaps a starport or a Twilight Council, and more likely a starport in this instance, to try to go for some void rays. But then again, I have been wrong in the past trying to make any sort of prediction. Back over here we do have the warp gate ability now being researched, and also the stalkers being trained up. Still getting a fair amount of gas, and getting up to almost 200 gas right now. He is kind of mineral locked, so this is a little surprising. Back over here we do have a pylon over here at this brush as a zealot trying to hold this front door. Very nice positioning over here, making sure that no units can really squeeze on in through there. Overlord now making its way into the base. Argos Zenith moving as quickly as he can as this Overlord trying to get in, trying to see what as much tech as possibly can, and a stalker not moving over. A little concerned and a little surprised. Perhaps he doesn't see that Overlord within that base. Now we have some drones being transferred out and a spine crawler now being moved over to this low ground hatchery. And now it looks like this is going to be a very long game. Both, or at least Argos now playing for more of the long game in mind, trying to set up and trying to get a strong economic advantage. And finally a forge being placed in the back along with more gateways. So LenaPark and hiding these gateways over here, and now going to be going into a very aggressive playstyle. I really like this, and I really just like that opening and that playstyle, just because of the warp gates. You can hide your gateways anywhere, and hiding your gateways, the Zerg player may not be ready or may not be able to spot those gateways in time to figure out what exactly the strategies are going to be. There is one forge coming in as well, so if a cannon gets played down here or even here, these gateways will not be spotted for quite some time, and will also protect from any Mutalisk harass if Argos tries to go for it. Taking a look at the harvester count now, we have 32 for LenaPark versus Argos Zenith sitting at 27, not getting any gas from this natural expansion just quite yet. I thought I saw a spine crawler move down. Where did it go? Or did it... I thought I saw a spine crawler move down earlier, and now we also have a roach warren. So Argos Zenith not getting the tier 2, and we have with the hatchery coming in over here. Did I lose? Units lost, 4 units, 275. Okay, I may have lost track of that here, but a probe now coming in as well, army-wise. 46 over 44, and a Zergling trying to run on in and run on out as those probes was trying to do some scouting, and now those Zerglings with that metabolic boost going to be able to push on in. We do have a photon cannon being built over here on this low ground, and will it be in time? Zealots now coming, warping in as well. Zerglings may try to do a run by. No, not doing a run by. Gonna go ahead and try to surround those that Zealot. No, deciding against it and pulling back. That photon cannon will be able to warp in without any real issue, as we are now running off of a 3-gate. So 3-gate, and Zerglings trying to destroy the back door over here, and more Zerglings sitting over here as well. So this should be fairly interesting. If LenaPark tries to engage these Zerglings here, this is going to be fairly bad. We do in fact have one sentry, and that sentry should be able to... Oh, the sentry's range is just a range of 5. So one Zergling should be able to pull back and not get hit, but now a Stalker coming in as well. So very nicely done. We have LenaPark sitting fairly safely off of 2 bases, and we'll be able to get this, or eventually 2 bases, as soon as he transfers any probes to this natural expansion. However, Argos, being the aggressive Zerg player that he is, now taking a 3rd base with another hatchery over here at the 11 o'clock position. Not the high yield, but very close to the backdoor destructible rocks. With the hatchery over here and eventually a queen, it will be very easy for Argos Zenith to push and do a lot of pressure and harassment. We are at tier 2, and Argos Zenith now getting the Carapace upgrade, and so with that Carapace upgrade should be able to do some sort of drops, and we should also see the movement speed as well. Sorry, the movement speed being upgraded first, and then the ventral sacks will follow momentarily. So those overlords really want to just figure out what's going on inside the space. But LenaPark really just now getting the Twilight Council, and we finally see Lena trying to do some other strategy, some sort of tech. He cannot live off of Zealots and Stalkers alone. One probe quickly getting taken down there, as his hatchery nearly completed, only needs about another 20 units of time. Stalkers now coming in, sentries and Zealots coming there to reinforce. Not going to really work out all too well. That one overlord should get taken down. Down it goes. So yes, a very nice army. LenaPark sitting at a 1350 army, just macroing off of now essentially 2 bases. And Argos Zenith should be able to start saturating this particular position as well. Sitting at 625. Taking a look at the unit count, we have 13 Zerglings, and is he saving up larvae? Yes, he is in fact saving up a fair amount of larvae, so we should have a very strong push of a Hydralisk and Roaches in just a moment. So even though there's a large discrepancy between the 1350 and 625, the Zerg player Argos just able to save up as much larva as possible. Probably going to drop in some sort of changeling, or is he going to try to do a contaminate and deny any of the buildings from doing anything? But we do in fact have Templar Archives and now a Stargate being warped in, and one Stargate already up and running, but no Void Rays and no Fleet Beacons that I can see. So not quite sure what those Stargates are there. Perhaps just more of a countermeasure than anything else. Are we going to see the Templar Archives? Twilight Council researching Blink going to get denied for about 30 units of time there. So that blink is going to be delayed for quite some time. Once again, back over here, hatchery now is training up an additional queen. And taking a look at the harvester count, 46 to 46. Argos Zenith, however, going to get a little bit of an advantage just because able to mine off of more minerals as well. Back over here, a spine crawler laying over here at this front door. Creep tumors now moving out. Zerglings sitting out over here. So Argos Zenith has the map control, but if LenaPark is able to continue to just macro up a fairly large army, now getting the level 2 weapons upgrade, we'll be able to push on out fairly easily as well. Drones being transferred over. Production-wise, we are getting the flyer attack and the flyer armor. Oh, the carapace. And wow, does that actually mean he has 2 spires? 1 spire? Yeah, 2 spires. Wow, double spires. So the Zerg player really wanting to get those upgrades went for double spires, and now in come those Phoenixes. Phoenixes are able to move and or move and shoot, and once they get within that 3 range and now pulling back out, the Phoenix does in fact move a little bit more quickly. Stalker is now finishing off that blink, and now Mutalisk continuing to just heal back up. Couple of transfusions from a queen, and that army will be back up to full strength. but really impressed by the double Spire tactic from Argos Lena to get the level 1 weapons and level 1 armor upgrade. That's something that you do not see fairly often. We may even see Broodlords in this particular instance if we are getting also the ground the armor upgrades for those ground units. Mutalisk, 10 Mutalisk now sitting over here. Those Phoenixes do not have any weapons upgrades. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between LenaPark and Argos here on Blistering Sands.